Just last night, I finished dinner and had just done the dishes when I heard something. Faint, almost like a whisper. I followed the sound through the living room, up the stairs. It led me to a room I don't use. I saw a light shining from under the door, but there's no way I left the lights on in that room. Hell, I haven't been in that room for months. When I opened the door, nobody was there. But a small, ornamented music box was playing in the middle of the room. No sound, just clicking away at the end of its record. Now tell me, Doc, does that sound right to you? I don't believe in spirits or ghosts or any of that. But if they don't exist, then what does that say about me? I'm losing my mind, Doc. It won't go away. It won't go away. Why? What's going on with me? Am I losing my mind? He couldn't shake it. That feeling, that emotion. It's on the tip of your tongue, but just out of reach. He couldn't quite grasp it, but he knew something was wrong, and had been for a while now. He had to figure it out. Just had to, or he feared the worst. He would lose his mind. He had been coming to see Dr. Claus for 6 months now. He was a psychiatrist, or a psychologist. He didn't know the difference, and he didn't care. Truth be told, he couldn't even remember why he had started coming in the first place. None of that mattered now. He needed his help with only one thing: saving his mind. Today I bring you SCP-1655, the Sorrow Tick. Don't forget to subscribe. Before Dr. Claus could even ask him what was wrong, he began to babble, nervously, and at times incoherently. He had small bite marks all over his body. They started a few months ago. At first, he had assumed it was some sort of infestation. He washed everything in hot water and put his linen into the freezer to kill off any remaining bugs. When that didn't work, he called in an exterminator. After 4 visits, they refused to return. They told him there was absolutely no bugs or infestation left in his house. Anthony yelled at them and demanded to know where these bites on his body were coming from. The two men gave each other a quizzical look, turned around, and left. Surely, this is a matter for a medical doctor, Dr. Claus insisted. No, there's more, and it gets stranger. Things were moving. At night, in the corner of his eye, the TV flickering to life in another room, the faint sound of a child laughing upstairs. Does that sound like I need a medical doctor? Dr. Claus tried his best to calm him down. Are you taking the medication I prescribed to you? Anthony nodded vaguely with his head down. Make sure you continue taking them. It's important. Well, they seem to be working anyway. Working? Working? I feel more nuts now than when I first came to you, Doc. If this is working, I don't want to know what it's like if it wasn't working. Calm down, Anthony. Sometimes when things seem to not be working, they're actually working exactly how they're supposed to. Trust me, it'll all come together soon. For now, just continue taking your meds and keep me updated on your progress, okay? Yeah, sure, Doc. Whatever you say. Over the next few days, it got worse. Cushions in different places than he had used them. The bedsheets rolled up when he had surely left them in a pile. Pillows on the floor. He began to question his sanity. He screamed at the walls and floor to stop. Whoever or whatever was doing this, it just has to stop. The voices and muffled crying came from all corners of his house. And what was this now? Could it be? Did he hear a woman screaming? It was all just too much to handle. He couldn't take it anymore. He had reached his breaking point. Either he was going insane, or the house was haunted. He yelled at the top of his lungs, tore at his clothing, and started beating the walls until his fists ran bloody. The police showed up at 10:32 p.m. due to a neighbor's call about screams and odd sounds from a nearby house. They found Anthony bleeding from a self-inflicted head wound, but still just barely conscious. He was immediately rushed to the hospital for treatment. All the while, he kept laughing and saying, "If I hit my head hard enough, the voices will stop." 1 visitor per day. It was all that was allowed. The high-security insane asylum wing was reserved for people who were physically abusive to themselves or anyone else. Dr. Claus looked through the one-way mirror, nodding his head with a wry smile. From his pocket he pulled out a small pill container, the same pill container that he prescribed to Anthony. Only this one was labeled SCP-1655 extract, extreme caution. He walked into the room and patted Anthony on the back. "You've done very well, Anthony. You've been a very good boy. The Foundation appreciates your assistance in this matter." Anthony sat in the corner, rocking back and forth, hardly acknowledging the presence of the doctor. Klaus came closer and leaned into Anthony's ear. "Don't worry about anything. We'll take good care of you, and of your wife, and your daughter." Anthony twitched and he turned back to Dr. Klaus. "I don't have a wife, or a daughter." Dr. Klaus reached into his pocket and pulled out the pill container and a small empty Perspex box. "Oh, that's right. Silly me. Of course you don't." He chuckled to himself as he reached behind Anthony's ear and picked something off the back of his neck. He popped it into the Perspex box with a chuckle as he walked away. It appeared to be a tick. SCP-1655 is a small arachnid of the order Exotidae, bearing a strong resemblance to the common tick. SCP-1655 does not appear to share the common development cycle of non-anomalous members of the order Exotidae, nor to require any physical sustenance. The specimen is extremely aggressive and will attempt to latch onto and bite any mammal with which it comes into contact. If the specimen is able to bite someone, the following phenomena will occur. 1. Any living being the affected subject held any degree of affection for will immediately lose all memory of the subject's existence and will be unable to acquire any new memories concerning him, her, or it. Said beings will not be able to sense the subject in any manner. Any physical contact with the subject will cause mild discomfort and disgust, which will increase in intensity the longer contact is held. If the subject begins to feel affection to any other living being, they will also be affected. It appears SCP-1655 is able to extract information from its victims and alter its effects in order to maintain complete emotional isolation. The subject will ignore SCP-1655's existence. These effects appear to be permanent and will endure even if the parasite is removed. Beings the subject bears no affection to are unaffected. Because of this, and the effects of the suffering of its victims on SCP-1655, it is hypothesized the parasite keeps a mental link with its victims, and feeds on the negative emotions the effects of its bites incurred on them. That's all we have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed the episode. As always, have a care, and remember to subscribe, like, and share. If you would. I bid you farewell. Until next time.